Welcome to a new video. In this video, we'll be talking and doing exercises about APIs. Before we jump into the coding, let's quickly grasp what an API is. An API, or Application Programming Interface, is a set of protocols that allows different software applications to communicate with each other. Web APIs, specifically, enable us to request and exchange data with remote servers over the internet. Now let's start coding. Let's start by importing requests, and we are going to define a function for getting country data from our API. Define get country data, and we are going to pass the country name inside this function, and we are going to say URL, and I'm going to do a copy paste here, not going to write it. I'm just going to paste it here. So what's this all about? We are using an F string because we are going to change the country name with the value we will pass in the function, and here is the API URL for making API calls. You can check their documentation for what URLs they provide, what information they provide, and etc. So we are going to set response is going to be equal to the requests. We will use the get method and we will pass URL inside, and we are going to say if response status code equals to 200, which means API call was successful. Other codes mean API call is not successful. We will say data is going to be response, and we will use .json for transforming it into JSON format, and we will say return the data we get from the API call, and else return none. This is our function. Actually, I need to fix this, and now it's going to run smoothly. This is our function. We are making an API call to the URL we select. So we are passing the country name inside, and it's going to take the country name we want. And in the response side, we are using the requests.get method for getting the data, and if the response status code is successful, we are returning the data from the function. Okay, let's use it. Let's say country name equals to, let's say Canada here, and country data equals to get. We are going to use our function with passing country name here. Here it is. And let's say if country data print data retrieved successfully, and let's say print country data, and let's say else print failed to retrieve data. Let's run this. Here we can see the message data retrieved successfully, and we can see information about Canada here, like the language spoken, currencies, etc. I'm not going to talk about them right now. We are going to reach these elements in the later stages of this video. Okay, this was the basic code structure to make an API call to the REST country's API and retrieve data for a specific country. We will use the requests get method to send a get request to the API endpoint. Let's try this for some other countries. We are going to pass the country name inside our function for this. For example, let's say get country data, and let's pass Germany inside of it. Here it is. We can see the data here. And also let's try it on, let's say Brazil. Let's run this. And we can see the information here. Great. Now that we have the data, we can perform some basic analysis. In our example, we will extract the population and area of the country. It's going to be quite simple, but it's because the dataset we have. Depending on your dataset, you can apply various data analysis techniques on the API data. It's just same as uploading CSV files, but I think this one is easier than that. Okay, let's write a condition then. If country data, which means you can get confused since we are not putting any conditions inside this, like country data is greater than 10 or country data equals to true, but this means if country data is not empty and if we have country data, so after this condition, if you have country data, then this condition is going to work, else it's not. Okay, let's say population is going to be country data 0, and we will take population from this. And we are going to open a bracket and we're going to say one more time population, and we are going to set the area country data 0 area. Let me quickly show you why I'm doing that. Let's copy the country data 0 and see it. Here it is. From this dictionary we are selecting, like, we can select the name here or status here with the help of this 0. So let's delete it and see what it returns so we can have a clearer idea. Since it's in brackets, we can't reach like that. So, but if we put 0 here and run that, we can get the name here, like, let's say name like this, and see what it returns. Here you can see, but when I delete this, it's not going to work. And as you can see, this is the reason of that 0. Okay, let's delete this and keep on our condition. Okay, let's print and let's use a f string here. Let's add country name has a population of, and let's say population here, and covers an area of, let's set area here square kilometers, and we will say else print. Let's just print failed and let's run this. I think there were a change in the population side. Let's just quickly check it together and get this. Let's see what it returns. Oh, you see, it's returning an integer, so we don't need that actually. And like this, it's going to run. Okay, we can see our condition worked since we have country data. Okay, Canada has population of etc. Okay, we can see both the population and area here. Great. Now we are going to define some functions for getting some specific data points. For this, we will reach to the inside elements, which comes from API call, just like in this one. In this example, we will retrieve information about the languages spoken in a country. We will modify our previous code to do extract and display the languages. I'm just going to write it by my hand one more time, and after that I'm not going to do that. Let's say get languages, and country name we are going to pass in, and we will say URL is going to be equal to the, I'm going to paste it here, and we are going to say response is equal to the requests.get, and we will pass URL inside, and we will say if response status. I'm just typing this again for showing you, and from now on I'm just going to do the copy paste response.json, and we will say languages data 0 and languages, and we are going to return languages from here. And it's a typo. Okay, stop recommending me that. I'm not going to use it. Else return none. Okay, so actually I think we are going to return get languages like this. Okay, I defined the variable name wrongly. Now we're going to define languages, but I just defined it as get languages. Let's run this one. Great, let's try it out. Since there could be multiple languages spoken on a country, we will create a for loop for printing the languages. So let's say country name, and let's set this as France, and let's say languages, and we will say languages spoken is going to be equal to the get languages, and we will just say country name here, which is France in our case. We will say if language spoken is valid, then print languages spoken in, and we are going to add country name here, and we will create a for loop here for language in language spoken, print language, and else just print fail and run this one and see the output. Here it is, language spoken in France, and here is the French. So let's change this as United States and see the output. What else we can do is let's change this as Turkey and get the Turkish here, and we can do, let's say, Brazil, Austria, and this is going to be the last one. Okay, great. From now on, I'm not going to write the functions again and again. I will just add the necessary indexing. Let's do a similar operation for the currencies. I'm just going to paste the define function get currencies here. I'm just assigning the URL again, response status code, and data. And from now on, we are going to work on this function. We are going to say currencies is going to be equal to the data currencies, return currencies, and we will say else return none. Here is our function for getting the currencies. Let's use this. Let's say country name Japan and currencies used is going to be equal to the get currencies and country name. Okay, let's write the condition. If currencies used, let's say print f-string currencies used in country name, and add this, let's say for currency in currencies used, print currency, and let's say name, and let's use common, and we are going to say as print fail. Also we need to add this here for it to work. Okay, so just delete this since it can be changed and run like this, and we are going to get the information here. They are using Japanese yen, and here it is symbol. So I'm just curious about what changed, and I want to check it with you since it can be informative. Let's print this and see what it looks like. Okay, they changed the JSON structure, so what we can do here is we can say Japanese yen, and we are going to reach this part right now, and then we can say like name here. Okay, here is the name of the currency. That was all for this video. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe to my channel for more data science content. Have a great day.